really it's just all sort of smoke and mirrors to this story that is just not compelling as it should have.
I wish the show had really put more of an emphasis on those two's relationship, but again, it's like it's really hard to do that when the whole setup is like Tadano is her vocal cords.
Hi, hello, this is Jules the Human here. Welcome to the Jules the Anime Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Jules the Human, and every week we go out into the world and watch a little bit of anime, and then we come back here and talk about it. And today we're talking about the ending of KOMI Can't Communicate. We are talking about episode 9 through 12, and we are going to finish it. We're going to rank the anime, and we are going to be picking a brand new anime by the end of the show. Oh my god, that's the first time that happened. We have a ton of anime that are there. A lot of these were submitted by you guys in the community, and some of them were picked by me or Matt. And the way that you can submit an anime to be put into the chest to be picked out by the end is by doing a $5 super chat on YouTube or 500 bits on Twitch. So that's how we do it. And we already have our first super chat, and this one came in super early, so it's going to be added in by the end of the episode. So this possibly could be one that we pick out at the end. So thank you, Rosie. I think you guys definitely have to watch Soul Eater. I will talk about Soul Eater in just a little bit, but thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We appreciate it, Rosie. Thank you so much. I don't go on this anime journey alone because I go on this with my co-host, Matt Galley. Matt, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing so good. I am ready to put a bookmarked end to our time with KOMI Can't Communicate here. Woo! We did it. As we like to say, we watched it, so you didn't have to in some cases, because I mean, we're going to talk about these 4 episodes, but I just definitely think that the show has a tone that is somewhat jumbled, somewhat mixed up, and I really think there's a lot of missed potential, especially after watching these last 4 episodes. And it makes me pretty upset. But it gave us what we gave us. It gave us what it gave us. So we're here to talk about how our feelings are about that.
Sure, that's it. Today's the last day we have to talk about KOMI Can't Communicate. Hello, everybody. Hello, Gemini. Hello, Claire, and certainly no stalkers. Hello, Joker. Long time no see, boys. What's up? How's it going? We're doing well. I'm ready for Zenless Zone Zero tomorrow. Maybe been playing a lot of Final Fantasy. But Rosie, again, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We got Soul Eater in there, and I have been reading the manga. The manga has been great. Been having a lot of fun. I love the mangaka. I've been reading Fire Force as well. It's by the same people. Same guy. Oh my god, Fire Force is amazing. I have the omnibuses. Soul Eater, been reading the perfect editions or whatever. I'm on 4 and it's so good. Definitely. I actually was reading Soul Eater today. I'm on book 4. It's great. But
now it's in the chest.
Now we got to get to the anime of the hour. KOMI Can't Communicate, man. I just picked up Gachiakuta to read. Is that the one with, there's like 2 of them out right now? Because I think I picked that one up too. There's one that there's that name, but then there's another one that's similar named. They're like very similar named. I picked up one of those. I picked up the first 2. I don't know what they are. I'll post a picture in the Discord later. But episode 9, it's just a country kid plus more. Let's get into it because we have a long way to go. We got to rank this anime. We got to get into it. We appreciate y'all here.
Try our best to be as brief as possible with these. So,
did you go for Firefly? She's all over the internet. No, I've not played Honkai in years. I've played about 60 hours of Final Fantasy 14 in the past 2 weeks. It's a whole other job, man.
Has anybody seen anything on the Descendants, that new free-to-play game? I had somebody at work talking to me about it today, and it seems like a
Destiny Light.
A Destiny meets Genshin, like a gacha game.
I don't know if it's gacha-esque, but it definitely has a lot of I was looking at it.
What they were telling me, it's like it seems like there's no cosmetic upgrades, and the whole point of playing the game is to grind out so you can get new characters that are like.
Someone was saying it was more like Warframe than a gacha game. I don't know. Gemini says, I fell off of KOMI. It didn't click for me. Curious to see what y'all thought of it as a whole. Gemini, I wish I fell off of it as well. I'm going to be playing ZZ for sure. I'm excited for also. Oh, yes. I'm probably going to be streaming it on Friday. Spoiler. Probably gonna be streaming it on Friday on this YouTube channel. Episode 9, it's just a country kid plus more. What happens in Komi Can't Communicate? Episode 9.
We get introduced to Naka, who we find is just swept up by their admiration of Komi, and they follow Komi around trying to figure out how she manages to be the city girl that she manages to be. Getting overwhelmed at what is essentially the subway to their stand bakes. We then see oh, no names. One of these new
Naka?
Yes, Naka inviting Komi over to her house to play video games, realizing she's not a gamer, and invites the whole squad to play some Super Smash Brothers. Then we see Komi attempting to give out tissues, and then we see Komi having an anxiety nightmare over everybody having like a little something on their face, to only the next day have why am I I'm just losing it. Tadano's. I'm just losing names right now. To have Tadano have something on his face the next day. Komi asks Tadano to call her by her first name, just like he does with Najimi, but neither of them can manage to call each other by their first name.
Great episode. Spoiler alert, Jules did not like Komi. Okay, great. Claire says, I'm glad I watched it for the first episode. I got something of value from it. What did you get? Tell us. Joker says, by the way, Demon Slayer is in the meta with the new spicy episode. I heard that was really good. I've not caught up on Demon Slayer in a while. Cosmo, Poppy Jules, and Zaddy Galley giving us the anime review. We are picking a brand new anime by the end. Stick with us. We're here. Anxiety nightmare relatable content. Yes, very true. And Claire says mostly the lovely blackboard scene. If it ended at the blackboard scene, that would have been great. But here we are. We get a new character.
We'll yeah.
No Coco Inaka, who's the new kid who's the country girl from the sticks. We got that new semester. We got a sort of moving time, like we always say, how this anime is very good about keeping time. They were in summer. They did some summer episodes. And then now we hear into the new
classes are just starting again.
And there also is continuity because they keep talking about Komi being the class goddess, which is fine. I'm liking that they built the thing.
Look, it's our class god.
Yeah, it's our class goddess. Oh my god. Komi gets into silly situations here, as always. She has to order a Subway sandwich. She goes to the Subway sandwich shop. No, Coco gets the sandwich. And hilarity ensues, as usual. It's funny when they do it again, right? It's funny when now it's a Subway sandwich instead of a coffee that she's ordering. These are the jokes, Matt. These are the jokes. They're trying.
It's just, like I said in the last episode, I really feel like they had a format going for them where it was like, introduce a new character, have that person become friends with Komi, and then like have the next few vignettes be more focused on that character's interactions with Komi. And we only get this character.
And I thought that's what it was going to be.
For the first vignette, and it's not even really focused on her becoming friends with Komi. They never even become friends. It's just like this secret admirer type deal.
She never comes back into the fold at all. They don't even really talk.
Not until the end of the first season.
I guess, yeah, but we get this whole introduction. No Coco Inaka. Okay, we get this country girl here, and I'm like, okay, down. We're back to the formula where we meet a new person.
Exactly. Yes.
Becomes the friend, does all this stuff, and then they're like, Komi's gonna order a sandwich. She's gonna look in the bushes and possibly order a Subway sandwich as well. And it's like
Tadano's following Inaka, following Komi. It's just
because again, she can't be by herself. Tadano has to always be there, and he has to follow and make sure that she's okay, I guess, whatever.
I will say too, I did attempt to throw this on English without subtitles and gave that a shot. And the narrator isn't non-existent in Japanese with subtitles, but in English, I just feel like the narrator is just like, this is the thing. this is where I'm at with this show. This was my big thought of this episode that I kind of wanted to get out, is that I remember before we got into this, a lot of people were saying like, oh, the tone of the manga, the comedy of the manga has been very well carried over into this anime. And so for me, when I'm watching it in Japanese with subtitles, it's like I'm seeing things happen, I'm reading things happen, and those like the subtitles will always have the characters' words first, and then like the little subtext that's describing something happen in like bold all caps underneath their whatever the character is saying in the scene.
Yeah.
And like that gives my brain time to like process the joke and even and like kind of have some sense of like the comedic timing because I'm the one reading it at my own, like, you know, at an anime's pace, but at my own pace in my brain. But when I'm watching it in English and the characters are talking and the narrator is just talking over what the characters are saying, that there's no time for the joke to be developed enough for the punchline to have any effect. Like it's Inaka talking. The thing that stuck out the most to me was like Inaka processing a thought of like, look at her, how she's just standing around, and at the same time she's saying that, the narrator is like, Komi goes into the cafe, and it's just like, I'm getting
Yeah.
bombarded with words right now. Like I don't like, and it's supposed to be a comedy.
I understand what you mean. Sometimes the narrator does have that comedy effect thing, but it is more like what you're saying, where it just kind of runs over each other.
And I'm just sitting there like overwhelmed, not able to process, like again, not able to process what's happening in time for like the punchline to even have any impact for me.
Mhm.
That's like I turned on the English for 2-3 minutes for this first bit, and immediately that happened, and I was like, I was so jarred, and I immediately like restarted the episode, Japanese subtitles. I was like, I'm not doing that again.
Joker asked, "What did you think of Overlord?" We watched Overlord in season 1. I think we was pretty good. I wouldn't mind picking it up to read in a manga. I think there are only light novels of it, or there might be a manga of it, but it wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot.
So I don't know if that's like a consistent thing that the narrator does by talking over other characters' dialogue, but for me,
um,
it just made it, that was like super jarring. And if that happens more often, then I would see myself being very off put by most of the jokes and setups. Like I would just feel overwhelmed, I feel like.
I feel that. I just felt when I switched to Japanese, I didn't really like it. I don't know why. It was just way too slow, and I find whenever they're going, it just goes really fast, and I'm just like, okay, I want this over with. Sorry. Um, uh, Nakanaka invited Komi over. They're gonna play video games, and you know every girl loves it when you play video games in front of her. Um, I really like the character of Nakanaka because they're just this weird kid that we all knew or we all were.
Mm-hmm.
And the one line that they said was, "Oh yeah, you're a light user, an ordinary person." It was so good. But Najime was summoned there, so here she is, and they're gonna play Super Swamp Bros. And I love that they're just taking a bunch of stuff. It's really silly. I'm okay with this silliness. They're playing Super Swamp Bros, which is
Yeah.
a Super Smash Bros sort of thing, and then they do this whole epic Swamp Bros fighting stuff. And I'm
If we
just
got more of
so
that type of stuff with just like taking the absurdity of the situations and then
all
giving
the
us,
way.
yeah, just completely full send it
I don't want to
every time,
see
that would be great.
I don't want to see Comey stand there struggling in front of a shopkeeper anymore. I want more of this fucking Swamp Bros action, man. That shit was dope. And I was like, oh my God, this is so good. And it has these little gems, these little bits in all this little, it's like the one blink of a diamond in all this sand. And I'm like, oh, there it is. And then it just doesn't give it to me anymore. And I'm just like, come on, man. Because this Swamp Bros fight was pretty dope. And I
It,
was
it,
so
it was
happy.
pretty good. The second I saw them say like, oh, Swamp Bros is widely renowned for being a couch co-op game where you could play a wide variety of different character franchise favorites. I'm just like, that's the entire audience sees themselves in that room in that
Yep.
moment, and that's
And
what
I'm
is great
there.
about it. And then again, you take it and you crank it up to 10 by full sending it using the medium of animation as your friend, because even I'm sure in the manga that couldn't have been more than like 1 page of panels of all the
Sure.
fighting that they had that they were doing in the game, but they took that just concept and they used the medium of animation to just flesh it out and make it something that was enjoyable to watch and something that felt like it was trying to set itself apart from the rest of the show. And we even talked about it in episode 1 where for a lot of those little bits between scenes, they were like having like little Tadano as Mega Man jump and then he like dies.
Yeah,
And it's
I
like
love
they were
that.
doing little things like that, but then as we got like more and more into the bulk of the show, in between they were just doing like little not cameo shots, candid shots of characters in different situations. And that's cool, but like give us what you already set up before with the neat kind of, again, you're showing us a still image, which is something that manga can do. A manga can't visualize Mega Man like dying like that the same way an anime can.
Yeah. And that's so much cooler in a visual medium.
Yes.
When you have a character that doesn't talk at all. We can kind of blow through. I didn't find any crazy stuff at the end. Najime hires Komi. Anxiety bit for passing out tissue packets. Komi struggles to even hand out one packet. Tadano ended up being the bear, which was kind of funny, I guess. The one that they were working together. Tadano has something on his face. Oh my god, we're in episode 9, and here we are in the same sort of situation where she has to tell somebody that they have something on their face, but she's unable to communicate that. And Komi can't communicate.
And the show even like kind of pokes fun by like just saying like, having Najimi just be the person that just hops out to do whatever they're scared to do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to be called Shoko? Shoko. Just like immediately.
Does it instantly.
Something's on Tadano's face the whole time right before the episode ends. Oh, Tadano, you have something on your face. Komi's just like, it's just easy. Like you could have even written that. Tadano, you have something on your face.
Yeah.
Why is that hard for her to write? I understand in the anxiety dream if she's like, oh no, where's my pen? Where's my paper? Like that's her anxiety purely like drawn out. But you had your pen and your paper. You just asked him to call you by your first name instead of telling him there's something on his face.
Episode 10.
Episode
10. It's just sports day plus more. What happens in episode 10?
We kind of meet a new friend/rival, Netsuno, who keeps gauging everybody by how hot their temperature is. The whole class 1A gets fired up for doing the best for their god. In the middle of a track event, Komi calls out to Tadano that he can do it, and that fires him up so much. Around half day, Komi's mom shows up to wish everybody a good rest of the sports day, and that clears away the rain, leading to Komi tripping and falling in her race, but her class picks her up and assures her it's all good. We meet another character, Onimini, who introduces themselves and seems to be attempting to get close to Tadano until she realizes his relationship with Komi, in which she completely backs off. Yamai, Najimi, Tadano, and Komi all go to the mall to take pictures in a little booth, and Komi and Tadano swap little cat keychains that they got.
Sports day. I do like Chika Netsuno, the character we meet with the little flame eyes. Netsuno's dope. Interesting character.
Every time.
Yeah. The little point. Oh, you're cold. 85 degrees or whatever, or Celsius, whatever it is. Do we have to go to the sports day? Warm-up exercises. There was an obstacle race. There was an obstacle run. Komi ends up cheering on Tadano. Tadano still finishes third. Komi's mom making cameos here is probably the best thing out of all this stuff. I love Komi's mom. Can we get a Komi's mom can communicate spin-off show? That would be great. I love Komi's mom, as does everybody else in the school. There's musical chairs at Sports Day, which was interesting. But again, everybody. So this is when it started for me in this episode, where it got past like the cheekiness, where everybody is super about Comey, and got to sort of creepiness a little bit, because
For me,
like,
that's the next episode.
okay, it's coming though, right?
Yeah.
Because like by the end of this show, I'm like, this is actually really weird that
Yeah.
all of the kids are just super about Comey, and they know, like, they just like obsessed with her, and the obsession, and it's just like, I don't know, in the real
That's
world
a
it's
bit,
kind of
right?
weird, but I mean, it's an anime, so how much can we take for with other than a grain of salt? But like, it's just weird that these kids, and right here in this
It's
episode,
odd.
it just starts to creep in on me, where I'm just like, this is
I don't know.
a weird thing.
For me, for this episode, I don't know. I ran track and field for 7 years. I coached it for 1 year.
Humble brag.
Yeah. So the
So I know all
idea
these. I'm a whiz at musical chairs.
the
That's what you're
idea
gonna
of
say.
the entire sports day doesn't resonate with me. But what does resonate with me is Tadano and Comey in their respective moments where they're kind of like, where they're in the middle of their event, and it takes the encouragement of somebody else to kind of help you find that inner fire. The show's not about running track. It doesn't set this up at all, and that's where I think in the long, like, where it falls flat in terms of like being able to be impactful for a general audience, because we don't know if Comey cares about this race. Like, she probably doesn't. She is just like Tadano said, like, let's do our best. That's what he said when everybody else is like, we have to do this for our
Yeah,
god.
she cares about not doing bad for her friends. I think
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed to latch onto, but really
Yeah.
all of the other things about the events doesn't really matter.
No, yeah, everything else, all the other event bits, like them losing tug of war because everybody's like close proximity to Comey, it makes
See,
them pass out, like stuff like that. That's starting to tread the line. It's starting to tread the line for sure.
That's where I'm like,
episode 11 is where it crosses lines for me, and I'm no longer having fun. But
ooh, okay, I'm ready for that
but
moment.
again, here in episode 10, I do think that like there's the just those moments with Comey and Tadano could have been more impactful if they had just set up some sort of precedent for them caring about this at all. But in the situation of Tadano being encouraged by Comey, which fires him up, we've seen that already. Every single time he feels singled out by Comey, he's just like, it like projects astrally and just screams internally. But with Comey getting seeing the entirety of her class like kind of cheer her on, and then after the race nobody cares that she lost, they're just like, oh my god, are you hurt? Like,
Yeah,
that's something that did resonate with me as somebody who was in the sport for a very long time.
definitely. We had Soul Leader earlier from Rosie, and now Bubsy. Thank you for the $4.99. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. It's not $5 though, so too bad. No, I'm just kidding. Mashal,
We can definitely add Mashal to the list. That will be currently the only anime in our chest that I have seen. I have watched the entire first season of Mashal, and if that changes your mind on what you want to submit, let us know.
I've been wanting to read the manga for a long time. I've seen it and I'm like, oh, I want to pick it up. I want to get it, but there's so many things and I'm waiting for an omnibus or something just so I can have them all. But thank you so much, Bubsy, for the $4.99 for adding Mashal. And Matt will add Mashal right now as I vamp here and talk about Comey some more. But thank you so much for the $5 super chats. We got 2 of them. Ooh, Soul Leaders, a goated anime. I'm reading the manga right now. It's so good. I love it. That and Fire Force I'm just obsessed with, and they're by the same mangaka, so I love it. We get the new character Onimine, who's checking in on Tadano, seeing if Comey isn't bullying him, showing this like sort of care for Tadano, because she's like, what's going on with Komi? What she's the only one that's seeing something weird. Like, is she like a bully? Is she trying to make Tadano be this thing? Is she like mean to other people? What's this
But
about? But then
she also caught wind of him having a bully from that. She was like, she thought the teacher had been bullying him because the teacher she caught like saying something like, "Oh, it's fine. I'm just gonna have Tadano do it," while she was like
yeah,
playing a video game or something.
yeah. The Tadano is being taken advantage of for sure. Somewhere.
She is sniffing that out.
Yeah. And in the end, it turns out that Onimine does understand and is another character that can see the bigger picture like us and is like, oh, wait, y'all are, oh, hold on, and see something going on between Komi and Tadano, knows that she likes him and is rooting for them. We get some cute photo stickers, man. They're taking photos together. They're having a good old time. Komi looks sort of
Get
the same in all of them.
Yamai out of there right now. All my homies hate Yamai.
I know, right? How are they just gonna keep putting her there? I hate it. You pick any of the other. Pick the dog girl, please.
I'm just saying,
Except for
I
the
think
one that was trying to kill him.
Yamai, if we had a season 2 introduction of Yamai instead of a season 1, this show would be better off for it. Give me, like, I don't know, give me Naka Naka back when Yamai got introduced instead. Let's have the cringe gamer person in and not the stalker psycho killer.
Literal killer, bro. Literal killer taking silly pictures together. It's we can't forget. Like everybody else forget, but bro, did you see what you did like 4 episodes ago? You tried to kill Tadano, like literally tied him up and said you were gonna throw him off a mountain.
And the thing is, like, oh, like, you know, not literally. I can't say I literally relate to that, but I'm just saying. In high school, there were some times where I'm just like, bro, do we not remember what so and so did? Why are we still hanging out with them?
I guess so.
I'm just saying.
Maybe we're not in the right mindset. Maybe we need to go back to high school and get in that mindset of like, fuck it, who cares?
It becomes a thing where like you're just too scared to poke the bear at a certain point.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're all just secretly scared of her.
That's you know what? I accept that. I accept that.
She just keeps
Najimi is actually completely terrified after being the one that was stuck there one-on-one with Yamai.
Yeah.
He just left the Najimi there.
Yeah. Tadano gives Komi a cat keychain, some exchanges about if you really want it, do you really want it? Komi gives Tadano a cat keychain back. They love the keychains. Komi really loves that they have like an after credits thing of her being super excited about it and really happy about it.
She was literally kicking her feet, bro.
Kicking her little toesies, yeah. Episode 11. What happens in episode 11? It's just a performance for the cultural festival plus more.
So the class argues over what they should be doing for the culture festival for their class, and they just basically decide to do whatever Komi votes for. Komi votes for the maid cafe. We meet Otori, who is a space cadet, and because they are part of the culture festival, the committee, they are tasked with going to grab new supplies for the festival. Otori asks Komi to go with her, and Onimine insists that she go with the both of them as well. Otori disappears, and when Komi finds her, she asks Otori why she invited her to come, and she replies that she just wanted to become friends with her after seeing how much fun she has with everybody else. Otori tells Komi that they should try their best for the culture festival, and being adjacent to Otori and Onimine, Komi actually gives a verbal response. Komi goes around handing out flyers later, still struggling with her anxiety, and we see that all the girls make rice balls and all the boys freak out over which one Komi makes. We get introduced to an otaku that is a maid cafe connoisseur going to a high school where a children's culture festival is taking place with high school students as the maids, and he takes it upon his 32-year-old self to go to said maid cafe, and we see that happen. Tadano's sister sees him dressed up as a maid, and Komi calls Tadano cute dressed up as a maid.
Well, when you put it like that, okay, I didn't
I'm
really
just
think about
saying.
it.
I'm just giving the recap. I'm just giving an accurate recap of what we all saw happen.
That was very accurate.
Of
And
what we all saw happen.
They did put his age there for all of us to see, which, yeah, I guess so.
This ain't
Bro,
no classmate.
He's just a simple maid connoisseur. He had to check out the scene, you know,
At the local high school.
What do we do for the
I'm sure
cultural
Dr. Disrespect
festival?
would join him.
Oh,
Who said
God.
that?
What do we do for the cultural festival? We have so many different things that we want to choose from, but Komi chooses Maid Cafe because she really wants to do it. Here as well, I wrote, I'm over everyone being so obsessed with Komi here. Another instance where I'm just sort of over it because, like, and I was trying to think about why I was over it, and I wanted to make sure it was for good reason, because I was like, well, if the roles switched, maybe it was like a thing where, like, oh, maybe I'm just not used to a girl being the leader of the harem or something, and I'm like, oh, maybe if it was a guy, would I feel different if it was a bunch of girls doing this? And I'll be like, no, to this extent, still, even if anything changed,
It'd be weird.
people are not, even like harem animes, they aren't, and I don't watch that, but like if I did, I mean, and I read a couple of something similar to that, they're not like super obsessed like this in this way. They still have their own personalities that have their own lives. It just so happens that they are sort of in this group of characters that are with this one guy usually. And it's just every single person in this anime is so, it feels and it comes across as obsessed with this girl, and it's just so weird and unnerving and just kind of creepy. And especially like you said with the 32-year-old, which is like,
It's really weird, the inconsistency of how upset the obsession of people works, because you have people that like it makes the show, the show makes it very apparent right away that like the general audience and the general public, anybody that interacts with Komi, just doesn't question her. She's just above and beyond. But then you have characters that with like a Onimine and a Tori who just treat her like another person. And it's that, for me, it's that inconsistency that starts to just make me like wonder why everybody had like else hasn't caught on, but these characters have caught on. And so that's the problem that I think started to kind of get into my head once you have Komi speaking to Atori and Onimine before she's really even had a full sentence to Tadano or
at least so
Nejimi.
close.
Yeah.
Like up in their face. Like she was responding directly to them.
Yeah. And like, you know, more than one person. Like I get that they like Onimine, because like the show says she's like a big sister, like that, and immediately is able to acknowledge that she has a crush on Tadano, and she's like, you know, I'm rooting for you. And then you have a Tori, who was somebody who I think might have connected easier with Komi because she's a space cadet. So when Komi doesn't like reply, like Atori is actually noticing that like she's trying to reply. She's not just like being silent. So she acknowledges it. She's like, you seem like you want to say something. Like, I'll wait. No rush.
And it's
Like,
just
nobody else is like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's like the combination of those two that probably made her feel comfortable enough to like speak. But it's still just like, but so then is it just that you have a crush on Tadano and that's why you have a problem speaking to him? If you do, why do you have a crush on Tadano? Is it because he's just the first person that decided to try to talk to you? And I understand that like that's supposed to be like the compelling fact, the blackboard scene. It all goes back to the blackboard scene where it's just like, I wish the show had really put more of an emphasis on those two's relationship. But again, it's like it's really hard to do that when the whole setup is like Tadano is her vocal cords.
I just wish she said one thing about Tadano's character that's sort of can be tangentially about her, but something that makes us understand what she likes about him. That says like, oh, he's very caring towards his sister, or he's very caring about me, and I really like that he's, you know, this kind of person, that he cares about his friends. And if she said something like that, like in her inner monologue or something, I think that would help a lot. I think that would help us out a lot understanding, because still in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, she just kind of likes him. Kind of, I guess. She hasn't really confirmed it at all. She does get super weird, but she gets weird with everybody. And she does continue to say, like, oh, you're cute. Oh, do you want to hang out and stuff? But I want her inner monologue or something inside her saying, like, I like him because he's a good person in some fashion. And I think that would help us want to root for Komi a little bit more. Because she's just going on little adventures. She's going to the shopping hardware store. She's helping out with the maid cafe. So it's a lot of little different situation, but I think we can really be helped as an audience and pushing this story along with the main. We know Komi and Tadano are supposed to be a thing. Can we push it a little bit in one direction? Because right now she's, like you're saying, showing that she can have this sort of connection with other people. So what makes Tadano special? I want him to feel special. So we get the maid master who gets super ready to go out and scope out the new maid cafe that's here at this school. And he's a typical otaku, as they say. And he just gets super weird around girls still. And they're high school girls. So even though they're maids, and he's looking at them and saying, like, oh, that's the so-and-so
That's
one.
the crass one. That's the silly one, etc.
Oh, they almost got a whole crew or something. What does he say? He's like, oh, they almost got the whole squad here. It's almost good or something. Kind of weird. I don't know.
Not kinda. It's very weird. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's odd, very strange. Did not like it. I was uncomfortable.
What about Tadano in a maid costume?
That part's fine. Only because there are high school girls in maid costumes. So putting a high school boy in one, I'm okay with that. If he was the only one in one, it'd be weird. If the girls were the only ones in it, it'd be weirder.
But then why did the other boys not be in maid costumes?
Because it was Najimi's idea.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm cool with it. Tadano looked cool. I like the wig.
Yeah, the wig was good.
Cool with that.
Pulled it together.
All the girls, another little interesting bit, all the girls liked Komi's brother. When Komi's mom eventually came in, Komi's brother came in as well, and all the girls were like, oh my god, he's so beautiful. And then
he immediately left.
Yeah.
Because he was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What a king.
Definitely. He's like, bro, they're weird. I'm out of here.
This is too much attention. These are too many eyes. I am out of here.
And I'm gone. If he doesn't go to that same school, he must like be in middle school or something then, right?
I'm pretty sure that, I mean, at least when I think he's been portrayed as little brother, basically. That's kind of weird. See his face.
Sure.
So yeah, so he's probably we do grades 9, 10, 11, 12 in high school. They do grades 10, 11, 12 in high school only. I'm pretty sure it's just 3 years. So first year, second year, third year. So he's probably in like a ninth grade, about to be a first year. I would guess.
Okay.
But it's still, I mean.
Yeah, whatever. Episode 12. Komi thinks Tadano looks cute. That whole thing. And then this is all leading.
They feel awkward.
Culminating to the finale episode here. We've been trying to get this
culture festival.
This whole culture festival up for a whole episode, and this is what we've led up to. So episode 12, final episode of Komi Can't Communicate. It's just the culture festival. What happens in episode 12?
Najimi just keeps trying to take the maid cafe concept too far until they finally get bonked for being a capitalist. Komi does an announcement over the whole school, accidentally saying meow when she tried to say maid. Everybody thinks that she's advertising herself as the cat maid for the maid cafe. Onimine calls Tadano super dense, which he is, and Tadano flubs it when he and Komi have a moment in front of a band on the balcony. The winners are announced. It's the maid cafe, but the major grand prize has been withdrawn because of Najimi being a capitalist. Tadano asks Komi to dance, and they don't know how. So as soon as things look like they're gonna go nuclear, Najimi joins in, and they dance, all three of them together. To celebrate the awesome culture festival, everybody goes out to karaoke with Najimi saying that everybody has to sing a song here. Komi doesn't sing. Everybody's taken aback by their audio hallucinations of Komi singing. And Tadano then sings with only Komi and Najimi and a few others tuning in at all while he sings, stepping off, super embarrassed. Najimi pulls Tadano and Komi back up to sing another song. Roll end credits. Play the opening. Komi can't communicate.
That's how it ended. They couldn't give us the dance, bro. They couldn't give us that. At least, after all, even if Tadano was in the maid costume with the wig on, they couldn't just have a nice dance to kind of end the season and be like,
that's
oh,
how
man.
I felt too.
Like that could like at least nothing else. I don't care about this whole. She said meow at the top. It's another little situation thing. I did like the whole capitalist. What's her name? I got Najimi.
Osana.
Najime. I love the whole her taking it too far and then it being the ultimate downfall for the crew in the end because she ended up doing that. And I was like, oh, okay, they still kept that. That's fine. I'm down with that. But like, at least in the last episode of the season, they had this moment. It just felt like it was there. Like I'm just waiting for it. They had this band thing. Okay, they missed this band scene. They missed their connection there. That's fine. The big jazz dance, the jazz music's playing. It's gonna happen. Osana comes in and it's like, no, let's all dance together. And it maybe the real Komi can't communicate is really the friends we made along the way, because maybe it wasn't about Komi and Tadano and just this little group of friends when I really wanted it to just be about them two.
Yeah.
It was just so unfulfilling.
I talked so much in the last episode about Najimi and how Najimi could do no wrong. Like that moment where they interrupt the dance. I'm very upset with Najimi.
Well, it wasn't Najimi, it was the writers, I guess.
Like, sure, yeah, exactly. But like that's what I mean is just that like their character having to be there to do that, it makes me like them a little less, because it's like you're the one talking about how you guys are hopeless, but here they are about to dance with each other with some semi, romantic music. It wasn't, it wasn't like a love song or anything, but it was some upbeat, like jazzy stuff, and they were getting their grips to it, and then you're here, and who's hopeless now? Who's hopeless now?
And it just felt like the episode wouldn't end. I was like, okay, they did the whole maid thing. Here's the band scene where they are gonna have their connection, and then it didn't end. And then the dance after, and I'm like, okay, here's the thing.
Yeah. Then it's like, if you don't want to do it, don't bring it to this point. Just please. Yeah. And I talked about that. Like, I'm okay with that not being there, and then it just being the karaoke scene is kind of like the emotional hinge point. But like with the dance scene, that just really set up expectations to pull out the rug from under the audience, in my opinion.
Because
I wanted you to laugh at that, but I'm not laughing when I'm actually feeling emotionally enthralled and committed to what's going on screen, just for you to yank it away from me at the last second. Now I'm just a little upset, a little mad.
Yeah, because then they tried again. They're like, oh, we got to go to the after hours karaoke. And like you're saying, here we are. We had the expectations for the dance, and then maybe we'll get Komi's first song. Maybe she starts singing. If she started singing, maybe it could have saved it.
And everybody has audio hallucinations.
Yeah, but she doesn't.
Okay, are you serious? Like, that's what we're going with.
She's the only one that's shaking maracas at Tadano. And while I did enjoy the English voice actor singing badly on purpose, it was good, and it had her rooting on Tadano, but also Osana as well, and then them doing this whole thing together. And it's like, you could have had so many moments here and you could have had a gripping story of this love that is more than this.
Yeah.
More than just Komi can't communicate, and then you don't take the shots.
It just felt like at this point the show doesn't know what it really wants to be. And that's where I think it lost me along the way. Is that like I was very much on board with it being more I mean, it starts off with an emotional high point with the blackboard scene. Like that's gonna always be what we go back to. But I think that like it kind of starts to get more into the silliness and the tomfoolery that happens. But then as we get closer and closer to episode 12, it tries to interject more scenes that felt like they belong side the blackboard scene. But it's like I'm far removed from that at this point. Like we've moved on, and the tone has been completely changed. So now you want me to like recommit to the emotional investment aspect, but I was kind of just on board with it being silly, funny, goofy, and now I don't know where the show wants to be at. And so if I don't know what the show wants to be, how do I know that, like, how do I put myself in a mindset to enjoy it, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Like do I put it on what to just like not really pay attention and just kind of be background noise, or is it something that I put on and I'm trying to commit to like understanding all the characters and their motivations and such because it's going to be like this long-term romp. But even again at the end of this first 12 episodes, we've established that we've already kind of gone through a whole year and maybe up to 6 months with these guys, and I mean our core group hasn't really developed
And
much other than Komi saying a few words and being a bit more comfortable in social situations.
And we met a lot of characters in the last 4 episodes, but it's not confirmed that they're friends. And have we given up the whole 100 friends thing? Is it just going to be like, you know what? I don't need that many friends. I have these people here, and really, I'm fine with this, and I'm having a great time. And
I don't
I
need
don't
a
know.
phone number on it.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the end of Komi Can't Communicate. We rate anime on a scale of 3 different criteria: animation, storytelling, and vibes. And then we give a final ranking to the anime, and you have voted as well. So those votes get counted into where we are going to rank this anime. But Matt, on animation, where do you rank Komi Can't Communicate?
I'm giving animation an A. I think the show was very beautifully animated. At times, it definitely was more vibrant than others, but I'm not the reason I wouldn't give it an S is because of some of the more kind of like that Smash Brothers scene, stuff like that. If they had sprinkled more of that in, it could be potentially S tier on the animation side of things, just for how great things look in movement, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at for animation. Jules, where are you going to rank it for animation?
I'm giving it an A as well. I really think that's where it shines, and that's where I'm the most sort of disappointed in the show as a whole, because I feel like there was a lot of time put into this, and I feel like they really did try to make something that was very visually interesting, and really just so many different sort of styles at so many different times. There was so much color, it was vibrant, it moved fast when it wanted to, and it had action and showed action when it wanted to. But really, it's just all sort of smoke and mirrors to this story that is just not compelling as it should have for animation as good as this. So animation was it was great, visually beautiful. If you want to watch a beautiful anime, sure, I would say go for it, I guess. But it really has nothing else really going for it for me. Um, Storytelling, Matt, what would you give storytelling?
Storytelling, I'm giving it a C for storytelling. I was able to keep up. It never lost me in terms of what I'm just like moment to moment, vignette to vignette. I was able to follow along, but I mean, it starts repeating bits, like not in a rule of threes way, but in a we're playing this all back full sail. It really had, again, the tonal inconsistency that caused me to kind of like I was locked in at first, and then it's like trying to, tell me, oh, you shouldn't really be locking in, but then it wants me to lock in. Like, so it feels
Get
like
up in the
tonally
gamer chair.
inconsistent. It feels tonally inconsistent, if anything. And I mean, the best thing the story had going for it was, again, the friends we made along the way. And we meet some pretty cool people, some pretty cool characters. They're all distinct. The characters designs, especially, I don't know if we talked about that. Like, there's no confusing one character for another, except
Sure.
for maybe Komi and her mom. But other than that, yeah, everything is so distinct. Love the characters conceptually, but I don't think that they served the greater purpose of what this show promised initially. Jules, where are you going to rank it for storytelling?
I feel really bad, but storytelling, I'm going to give it an F because I just don't care. I just really wanted to care. I really did. I really tried. Um just a lot of it, like you're saying, is the same stuff over in a different template with different uh I don't know, different Subway make of the sandwich. It's just the same thing over. I really wanted to care for Comey. I really tried to care for Comey. I don't. Tadano and Comey had so many chances to give us anything, and maybe it really is just, that slow burn. But I'm not, and I can tolerate a slow burn. I'm a patient person, but really, I just found myself dreading watching the show, and I just really didn't want to watch it, and it just wasn't entertaining, and there was too much space in between something that I found funny or interesting, and I was really trying to find something to like, and I just didn't, and I don't think I would watch this again, or recommend it for anything at all. Which is sad because the characters are cool, but it is just a whole lot of nothing because it means nothing. Nothing matters. Here they are doing another thing that they did in episode 4 or something, and it's just like, why? What are we doing here for? Like, I get low stakes. Low stakes are fine, but even those low stakes don't matter at all, or they don't have anything that is pushing towards or any direction or any reason to happen.
Mm-hmm. I
Vibes.
go ahead.
Oh no, go for it.
I will say that there are things that we've watched on the show before that I've actively disliked more than this, and there are things like that I've actively liked way more than this in terms of the storytelling, and like never it never got offensive for me, and we've watched some stuff that kind of got offensive, and I think that's what kind of keeps it out of D tier, is that it's, at least to me, it seems like you actively didn't enjoy watching this, whereas I was kind of just like constantly shrugging my shoulders, not knowing where we're going.
Yeah, and even like if I don't even want to know.
Like how you said, there's too much between. Like, if you don't laugh at one joke, it's setting up another joke. But the more time that went on, the more those jokes started to kind of just, again, be the same jokes. So there was more and more time as time went on of just like this blank space.
Yeah, I can't handle shaky Comey for 12 episodes, and it's gotta give me something more, man. You gotta give me something else. Claire says it's not sinfully bad, it's just not worth your time. Yeah, it's not like,
for me, that's like C and D.
Okay,
that's like C and D
yeah,
tier.
sure.
F is like when I'm getting into, this is sinfully bad.
Yeah, and that's why not all of them are Fs for me. Definitely, sure. Where there is some good points to it, but under storytelling, it's an F. Vibes, where would you put Vibes?
Vibes, I have a B written down, but I think Vibes is actually a C for me. The more like we talk about it, the more we get into this. It's that exactly what Claire says, honestly. It's not sinfully bad, but man, is this just like so not worth your time. Like, it's the thing is that like if you identify as Comey, if you identify as any of these characters, you're probably going to get a lot more out of this show. And I understand that. Like, the show's supposed to be about this nonverbal character. It's adapted from a manga, and like we said, they animated it beautifully. Like it jumps off the screen at you at times. but I really just have a hard time rooting for somebody where their internal monologue uh, is
Non-existent.
non-existent unless it's being aired out by another character who's supposed to be the love interest, and it feels like the show is constantly getting in the way of what could be so much more entertaining. And what I do find entertaining is all of the cool characters that get introduced, all of their neat little quirks, and like how they play off of Komi is more entertaining than Komi in the like environments where there's nobody to kind of play off of them. But the thing is that again, like the more characters that get introduced, you're increasing this wingspan of like the potential of humor that you can reach out to. And that's why it's not until Naka Naka gets introduced and we're watching them playing video games that I'm like shaking my fist at the screen, like, yes, they're playing Smash. And like I'm having a good time. When the last, I'm pretty sure the last 2 or 3 episodes before this were just largely Komi focused episodes. So we're just seeing her in a less not appealing, a less dynamic environment for jokes to be played. So the characters, all of these people that we meet, are what carry this show for me and are what will make it have any amount of enjoyability. And we don't get enough of them. And I wish we had more of them. And that's why I put it at a C, because there are really good moments with these characters that I love, but it is ground to a halt when there aren't people around Komi that have personality.
Have anything. Give me something.
I get that that like she does have these moments where we get to see more of her personality and her humanity behind what everybody else sees, but it's just not enough to make Komi a compelling character for me. I want to see more of Onimine being this endearing older sibling that's always on to the antics of everybody else because she's the one that knows how to read the room. Tadano thinks he can, but I love that. I love Najimi being this super crazy extrovert that's just always the life of the party, bringing the energy into the room. I don't know how I feel about Agari, actually. I love seeing Netsuno come on stage and be this, super hot-blooded, positive-willed rival that just wants to compete against other people that bring out the heat.
But then didn't Komi already have another rival that we just kind of forgot about?
But it's like, a mean-spirited rival that just wants to win for the sake of winning. Netsuno's like, I'm here for the challenge. I'm here for somebody that's going to give me a good race. And I don't care whether or not I win or lose because we both tried our best. That's Netsuno's character. The other character just, Komi's so good and I just need to be better than her at everything we do.
Yeah.
So even they have distinction. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm rambling at this point. Jules, I gave it a C on vibes. Where are you going to give this show for vibes?
I give the vibes a D. Basically everything we said already. I just really don't care. I really wanted to care. It was fun with the little characters being little goofballs and doing all this stuff, but really just the story wasn't doing anything for me. We get the baby bit again. We didn't mention the whole baby thing.
Coco.
So it's just kind of the same stuff, and I just really did not enjoy watching it all too much. Even though it was visually amazing, visually really good, really liked it, but I wish there was just more to the story, and I wish there was some more characterization to Komi, like you've been saying. It's just not enough for me to care, and I get that she has sociophobia, and they say it every episode, and if I never hear that word again, I really every episode, sociophobia really isn't, they really want to connect, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, I get it, but can you she likes cats, I don't know, maybe have her have a cat, care about the cat or something, make her interesting. I want to feel for them, but then again, they pull the rug from out from under us many times in the last episode too, and it's just like, I'm not going to continue. I don't want to watch it. So all of those contabulated together with your votes as well, the anime Komi Can't Communicate will be awarded rank C. It is a C.
Let me see you after class.
Komi Can't Communicate, rank C on our ranking boards, and it joins Tower of God. Is that the one?
Yep, that's Tower of God. It's joining. That seems
Joins
right.
joins Tower of God
It
in
was
C.
man. This is very comparable to Tower of God, where this is like rom-com to Tower of God's like action adventure. It was just the same amount of like unsatisfying to watch, but in Tower of God you get rack. You know,
Love rack.
it's that concept of like I like these characters, but you're not giving them a story where we can really make their personalities like shine.
We are done.
We're done.
KOMI Can't Communicate is gone from our memories. We shall erase it. Hype emotes only. But now is the time where we get to pick a brand new anime to watch together. So if this is the first time you're watching, we watch these animes in like 4-episode chunks, and we encourage you to watch them along with us. Talk in the Discord about it. Give us your thoughts. Come to the live shows and watch us and give us your thoughts as well during the show. And even if it's an anime you haven't seen, most likely it's an anime we haven't seen. So you can have more incentive to watch with more people together, watching an anime for the first time, probably, and being like, man, that sucks, or man, that's really good, or something like that. So the next anime also was Mashal added to it. I can't hear you, muted.
Mashal was added.
Don't worry, sometimes we watch good shows. Yeah, we watched a lot of really good shows. So with Soul Eater and Mashal added, and all of these other anime here.
We're watching Shine On.
Shine On, that was suggested last week.
That was suggested last week
by Dan. Shine On is the anime. Oh man, I saw the little visuals for it. Looked pretty good. Thank you, Average Spore, for the $5 super chat, or 500 bits. We are watching Shine On, an anime that I've never heard of before this.
Neither have I.
And maybe it'll be your next favorite anime. But this is a way to get people to watch together, maybe discover stuff that you never would have checked out before. And it's definitely helped me and Matt find some cool anime that we've never watched before or would have checked out on our own.
And some not so cool. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
Shine On. Next episode, watch Shine On episode 1 through 4. I think there was a longer name for it as well, but it's called Shine On something. But yeah, we'll watch that. Hopefully it's really good. Really
Shine
excited.
On Bokumatsu Bad Boys.
Bokumatsu Bad Boys. Oh, they had katanas, right?
Yeah, they got the katanas in this one.
I'm ready for it. Bokumatsu Bad Boys. That's me. You know, the bad boys. Matt, when you're not being a bad boy, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on my YouTube at Matt_Galley, where I stream when work isn't overloading me with shifts. And you could also follow me on my Twitch and Instagram, just at 9TS at the front. It's Matt Galley, Matt_Galley. Jules, when we're here talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, when we're not here talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, where can the people find you?
You can find me on everywhere at JulesTheHuman, at JulesTheHuman on all social media. I post on YouTube sometimes. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy, and I really don't want to do anything else. So that's what I've been doing. You can find me in Crystal Balma on Final Fantasy 14.
Yet?
No Dawn. I'm in Stormblood in the middle, and it's long. But I will probably be streaming on YouTube. Zenless Zone Zero on Friday if you want to come watch that. It's a new from the makers of Genshin, from the makers of Honkai. They made another one, and I'm going to play it on Friday.
Wow.
So, wow, I'm going to play it on Friday. So if you want to be there for that, hit subscribe button on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, I don't stream on Twitch anymore. I stream mostly on YouTube and post stuff on YouTube. So go subscribe to my YouTube channel. But you can find this you can find this podcast on Spotify as well. Search the Jules Anime Hour if you don't want to watch on one of these platforms, or you want to watch back past episodes. There's a YouTube playlist, but you can watch on Spotify as well. Just look up on Spotify. It has a podcast thing. All of them are there. Claire says it's about a mute swordsmith and his desire to be left alone to craft 100 blades. Oh, I hope not. Another mute. Here you go. Another main character that doesn't talk. No, I don't know. You're probably being silly. But that has been the Jules Anime Hour. Shine On Boku something Bad Boys.
Bokumatsu Bad Boys.
Go watch episode 1 through 4, and we'll see you same time next week.
Bakumatsu.
Bakumatsu Bad Boy. Same time next week. Come here, watch those episodes, come back, and we'll talk about it. But
Yay.
let's go.
Bye.
Bye. Where is it? There it is.